Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on orders over $10. From July 6, 2020 through August 7, 2020, if you use this promo code, you will be automatically entered into a drawing to win a Double Masters booster box. Also, there is another way to win where no purchase is necessary. See the link in the description below for full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends. Welcome to day 4 of Double Masters previews. A lot of big cards to look at today. I want to get into it relatively quickly. If you've been watching the channel over the last few days, you know what we're doing here. We're going to recap and analyze all the cards that came out over the last 24 hours or so. Quickly before we get started though, just a fast reminder, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. Currently, you can pre-order Double Masters booster boxes, VIP boxes, and packs. When you use the promo code, the Double Masters booster box goes down to $297, and that does include shipping in the United States. Also, whenever you use that promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated. So thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Auriok Salvagers. This was an uncommon and went up to rare. It's back down to uncommon now for this set, which is nice because previous copies of this are just a few cents. Foils, though, are a little more expensive. They can range from $12 to $17 depending on which copy you want. This sees play in Legacy Bomberman and Commander. Many times you'll find this in Brea Ethereum Shaper builds. Also, though, it has been seeing more play recently in Zerta the Dawnwaker decks. Beyond that, you're going to notice as we go through the video today, there are some good targets for this in your limited environment as well. Kemba Ka Regent. Unfortunately, value-wise, there's not a ton of value behind this rare. You can get previous copies for just a few cents. There's only one foil copy, though, and that's from Scars of Meriden. That's going to run you about $4 to $5. It is a fairly popular commander, and it's in other builds too, like Arabo. Thraven Inspector, here's a comment for you. On the right is the Japanese language preview. On the left side, you see a recent printing, a very recent printing actually, from Mystery Boosters for translation purposes. This one, as you can imagine, isn't too expensive, just a few cents. There is only one foil though, it's from Shadows over Innistrad, and that will run you about $5 to $6. In Pioneer, this is in Mono White Devotion. It also gets a lot of Pauper play and some Commander play. Valorous Stance. On the right side, you see the Japanese language preview. On the left side, you see another recent reprinting for translation purposes. This is the copy from Jumpstart. And this is another card that's just going to cost you a few cents if you go for the existing copies. Foils about 50 cents to $1. In Commander, this does see a little play in Feather builds and more. Alright, here's a card with a lot of value behind it. It is Force of Will. On the right side, you see the box topper. On the left side, you see the regular copy. I'll point it out because I do think it is worth noting. The art on the regular copy is still Therese Nielsen art. Wizards is no longer working with that artist, and if you want the details, again, just Google it. We won't go into it all here. But this will be the last time you see that piece of art on this card, in other words. So the card itself is very expensive. If you want to pick up the Alliances copy, it's going to cost you about $120. The Eternal Masters copy, $152. Foils, forget about it. The Judge promo is about $334 now. The Amonkhet Invocation about $350. The Eternal Masters foil is at $461. This is a highly played card in multiple formats, including Legacy, Vintage, and Commander. It's a great competitive Commander card as well. Grand Architect. This was recently reprinted as a foil card in WPN Mystery Boosters. That copy will cost you about $2. The Scars of Mirrodin foil is almost $10 now. The regular copy of this card from Scars of Mirrodin is about $3 to $4. This is another Commander card for Brea builds and others too. Master of Ethereum. Here's another rare that doesn't have a ton of value around it. Previous copies are about $3. There's only one foil though. That's from Shards of Alara. That will cost between $4 and $5 typically. This is another card for Commander Brea or other artifact heavy builds in the format. Master Transmuter is next. This was reprinted recently too in Mystery Boosters, but it still has some value. Previous copies are $4 to $9, and the only foil is Conflux. That's going to run you about $28. This is a solid Commander card in builds like Brea, Urza, Shroom, and more. One of my favorite cards, Phyrexian Metamorph. On the right side, you do get a box topper variation. That's pretty cool if you're a fan of this card like myself, but it was reprinted recently again in Mystery Boosters. Previous copies run for about $5 to $8, foils between $11 and $16. And this has seen a tad bit of vintage play. It's highly played in Commander though, and is yet another card you might find in a Brea build. It feels like they're giving us that whole deck in this set. Reshape. This is the first time this card's been reprinted. The Darksteel copy is around $8, foils around $30. This sees playing Commander Urza, Brea, Joyra, Weatherlight Captain, and more. Next we have Godo, Bandit, Warlord. Previous copies are about $6 to $7. Nice value, but not a ton. However, there's only one foil that's from Champions of Kamigawa. That's going to run you about $45. Just for the chance to get a cheaper foil of this card, I'm glad it's here. Fairly popular commander, it does see play in other builds too. Next we have Greater Good. This is another card that's been sort of hot recently. Previous versions of it are now selling for $8 to $14. Foils between $17 and $51, depending on which one you want. It's a highly played commander card in numerous builds. Thragtusk, this was reprinted in Jumpstart not too long ago, another card that has had a recent reprinting. Previous copies of this only $1, foils will run you $4 to $6, but at least it does see a fair amount of play. You'll find this in modern Tron builds, and it's a solid commander card that has been seeing more play in that format with Egil the Blast. Geist of Saint Traft. Financially, I would not have minded seeing this get a bump down to rare, but it is a mythic here. The Innistrad copy is $4 to $5. The foil Dual Decks Bless vs. Curse copy is only $3 to $4 if you're looking for a deal. Other foils are about $15 to $17. This does see some light modern play and some commander play. Basilisk Collar. This was recently reprinted in mystery boosters like a lot of the cards we've been talking about. Previous copies of this go for about $5 to $7. Foils $9 to $13. This is a solid commander card seeing more play now in recent builds like Kelsey the Plague, Neath of the Dire Hunt, and Sethron Herloon General. Duplicant. You are going to need something to do with those Urza lands for your limited games. This is a good place to start, I suppose. Previous copies are $2 to $3. Foils, there's actually a pretty wide variety. Commander's Arsenal or the Eternal Masters foil are about $4. Mirrodin's around $12. The Kaladesh Invention, though, about $40. This does see commander play in builds like Kozilek the Great Distortion and more. Ensnaring Bridge is next. There's some nice value behind this card. Previous copies are $26 to $28. Again, you have a wide variety of prices when it comes to foils. Masters 25 is your cheapest, around $52. The Kaladesh Invention is about $110. 8th edition up to $127 nowadays. And 7th edition, believe it or not, around $600. So 7th edition foils are out of control. In Modern, this sees play in Tron builds and more. Legacy, you'll find this in Karn Echoes, Titan Stomping, Mono Red Prison, and more there. And in Vintage, you'll see this in Golo stacks, among other places. Hammer of Nazan. Alright, this is a nice reprint here because this card was getting expensive. This is the first time it's ever been reprinted, and it's the first time you can get the card in foil. The Commander 2017 copy is about $29 right now. This sees a good amount of commander play in decks like Arabo, Godo, and more. Kadoltha Forge Master, another card that is getting reprinted for the first time. The Scars of Mirrodin copy will cost you about $45, foils about $9 to $10, and this does see commander play again in Brea builds and other places too. Masterwork of Ingenuity, yet another first time reprint here and first time in foil. The Commander 2014 copy is about $5, not a super expensive card, but I'm sure there are some commander players that would like a foil copy. This does see some play in that format in Sir Gwyn Hero of Ashval decks and more. Mishra's Bauble. Now this just got reprinted in mystery boosters, but for an uncommon, there's still a lot of value behind this card. Previous copies are $8 to $13. Foil still $21 to $42. In Modern, you'll find this in Jund, Luris Aggro, and more. Legacy, this is in Echo of Eons builds and other decks there. Sees commander play too, and it's a good limited target for Aurillac Salvagers, which we saw earlier. Mox Opal. Now this card was banned in Modern not too long ago. It's still a huge mythic, and you can see on the right side you have the box topper variation, on the left is the regular copy. Previous copies of this card will run you about $55 to $57. When it comes to foils, you do have a wide range. Again, the Modern Masters 2015 is around $65. That's the cheapest. There's a Judge foil you can get for around $84. Scars of Mirrodin's like at $99 now, and the Kaladesh Invention at $180. Legacy, this is in Echo of Eons builds, Storm, and more. In Vintage, you'll find this in Ravager shops. It's also a highly played commander card many times in the competitive builds there. Here's another card that gives you something to do with those Urza lands, or maybe you just want to play this in your Commander Brea build. This is Mir Battlesphere. Previous copies of this one, unfortunately, are only a few cents. It's not a very expensive rare financially. There is only one foil copy of this card, though, and it's in Scars of Mirrodin where it was originally printed. That will go for $11 to $12. Here's another target for Aurillac Salvagers. If you're playing limited, it is Pyrite Spellbomb. Now this one's another common. It doesn't cost very much, obviously, just a few cents for previous copies. Foils will run you between like 50 cents and $3. You'll find this one in modern 8-wax sideboards. Also, it's good in Commander, Joyra, Weatherlight, Captain builds, and more. Next, we have another mythic. It is Sword of Fire and Ice. Check out that box topper art on the right side. Let me tell you, that is hot and super cool at the same time. So, previous copies of this are expensive, obviously. You can get them for $72 to $80. Foils are also very expensive, between $115 and $160, depending on which one you want. This does see some play in Modern and Legacy with Stoneforge Mystic, and it gets Commander play as well. We get another really big reprint today. We saw a lot of good ones over the course of this video, but this is Walking Ballista. Now, there is a foil reprint with some new art coming in the Can You Feel with a Heart of Steel Secret Lair, but you're also getting a reprint here. Currently, there's only one printing of the card. It's an Aether Revolt, and that copy will cost you $26, the foil $45. This card sees play everywhere. Pioneer, it's in Mono White Devotion, Saltite Delirium. Modern, it's in Tron builds, Devoted Devastation, Hardened Scales, and more. Legacy, Karn Echoes, Mono Green Cloud Post, and more there. Vintage, you'll find this in Ravager shops, and it's a highly played Commander card too. Recently, it's been seeing more play in that format due to some new cards like Kinnan Bonder Prodigy and Zixara the Exemplary. Alright, those are today's previews, and again, we saw a few cards that felt like maybe a little bit undervalued for the rare spot in this type of set. But then we also saw huge heavy hitters too that have a ton of value behind them. And that does seem to be the trend this week, and I'm sure that will be the trend going forward too over the next number of days. Tomorrow, we're going to come back and recap all the cards that come out over the next 24 hours. Until next time though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.